for the video that we were posting that we have.
We could actually do one this time. I don't know how my lighting is, but
Well, no, I mean, I did a video.
yeah,
Last time.
we just didn't officially post it.
Yeah, right. It's unlisted, or maybe it's private still. Actually,
Either.
we should just release it, but
Yeah.
yeah. Hey, here's the episode last week. Anyway,
You ready to start?
yeah,
Hello, everybody.
I'm doing
Oh,
video right here too. Still,
okay. So,
okay.
hello,
Hey,
everybody. I'm
everybody.
Travis.
Oh shit. Okay, let's start that. Hey, everybody. This is Brandon,
And I'm Travis. And
and
welcome to Apathetic Enthusiasm. We're here. We're doing it. Nothing will stop us.
nothing will stop us. Don't stop us now.
No, 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 no.
Making a call.
We're copyright infringing. No, welcome to Apathetic Enthusiasm. We are doing our second show geographically separated. So
Yes.
last week I was in my mother-in-law's garage. This week I am in a home of my own.
Yes.
Even if I don't have any furniture yet. So I got into a house, immediately ordered some internet because I knew we needed an episode this week.
Yeah. That's
And
why. That's
I
why.
am I am in a storage closet that will eventually become my office slash recording studio.
Oh, how sweet.
So there's literally nothing in here except me, my computer, and a suitcase for me to prop it up on, and a modem box. I rolled up a towel to try to muffle some of the outside sounds, but yeah, this house is very empty and echoey. So if my kids are screaming downstairs, there's a slight chance we'll pick it up on the recording, but let's roll through it.
Hey, kids be doing what kids do. That's what
Yeah.
my third grade teacher always told me.
And then he took another drink, just like
Well,
kids be doing what kids do.
it was a she,
Oh,
sexist. Why? Oh,
did she? Did she have a mustache?
yes. Well, yeah,
Okay,
of
so
course.
see, is a common mistake.
And
Could have
that's
happened to anyone.
and that is how she sounded. Also, her name was Mrs. Man Voice.
Teacher of third grades. For those of you who are audio listeners, which is primarily all of you, we are also trying a small experiment because we are over Skype, and it makes it so much easier. We're trying to record video. We'll see how well it turns out.
Well, we told them this last week as well, and
We just didn't post that video. Well,
yeah,
you posted it.
yeah, it's up on YouTube. We just didn't advertise it.
Well, maybe by the time this episode comes out, that one will actually be up and live, and people can see me sitting in a dark garage.
Yeah,
Uh,
if I can get you to just do the legwork for the just posting the video while I'm doing all the editing for this, and then the bing
that's
bang.
teamwork. That's why we're a 2-man show right here.
That's why it's called Travathetic Brand Enthusiasm.
Ooh, that's a good spin-off title right there.
Yeah.
I also want to point out, if anybody is watching this on video, how different our backgrounds currently are, because I am in a stark white room with very little light, and you are like in nerd haven. You got the old banner back there, a bunch of there's stormtrooper right over your shoulder. It's looking great. I can't wait to get some stuff up on this wall
And storage
and
bins. Yeah.
storage bins because the garage lives on.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of the introduction type things. I think it's
Yeah.
time to get into a couple topics, a couple of timely topics where we've spent several weeks just talking about whatever we could think of to fill an episode. But fate has allowed us to have a couple of topics worth talking about that are fairly new. One of them being Pokemon Go, and the other
Pokemon.
The Secret Life of Pets. So I've been singing the Pokemon theme song like in my head all week, mostly when I open up my phone. But that's not a big deal.
You know what I've had stuck in my head for like the last 3 days?
No, I don't.
I'll tell you. I mean, there's that thing where you're like, hey, do you know what I'm thinking of? Of course, I'm thinking of
And then
pancakes.
I'm like, yeah, pancakes. That's it.
Like you don't like when you don't actually give somebody the time to guess. I was actually giving you the time to guess on that,
And I
and you
have no
squandered
idea.
it. You squandered. No, my buddy Patrick Orr, right? He and I we sit right next to each other at work, and every Friday we turn on Pandora and it's Funk Friday. And guess what? The song I left on Friday was Boogie Nights, and
Hey,
so
all
I've
right.
had Boogie Nights, Boogie Nights.
Okay, no copyright
Uh,
infringement.
God,
Can't do it.
it's
Available on Spotify.
it's stuck in my head. Okay, well I have to listen to it later.
Okay, so
But
you went.
I want to complain real quick
Just complain it up.
because somebody ruined Funk Friday for us this last night. That's why Boogie Nights still stuck in my head is because all right, me and Pat we're just sitting right next to each other and we're cool, right? We're just like typing and like every once in a while we turn to each other, joke around and but then we go back to work and it's fine, right? But
Sure.
there's other people in the world that like they just like come up and they just I love talking to people, but I also don't want to talk to people all the time,
No, I
right?
understand this. I
Right?
understand.
And so they come up and they're like like on the desk like moving stuff and I just turn over to Pat and he turns over to me and we're just like go on to the Air Force messaging system and then type to each other slash facepalm. Oh god, so frustrating. We had a hard time enjoying Funk Friday basically,
Yeah, it was
and
interrupted.
and Boogie Nights is the last thing I heard, and so it's like, hey, get back to funk, get the funk back.
I will say I did go into my new office for the first time this week. And after not being in an office of computer type people for pretty much the entire time I was in Hawaii,
Yeah.
this week I observed a discussion, a debate, an argument, if you will, which took place between several people where they discussed the pros and cons of PC versus console gaming
Oh yeah.
for nearly an hour. And it was at that moment I realized, yeah, I'm back in a communications work center. So
That's the endless debate, though.
yeah,
We could have a podcast about that
we could
literally
every week,
forever.
point counterpoint. But that's not what we're talking about this week.
No, no, no.
Do you want to talk about the movie first? You want to talk about the game first?
Let us talk about the game first.
The game first. Gotta catch 'em
Go
all.
ahead. Go ahead.
Pokemon Go.
Because
So,
I have so little to say about this game.
did you actually download the app yet?
I did.
Have you caught any Pokemans yet?
Yes, I have.
Have you hit any Poke Stops?
No.
Have you gone on a long walk around your neighborhood in search of wild Pokemon?
Kind of yes, but
All right. Well, I think we spent some time. I think it was last year actually, talking and speculating about Pokemon Go when it was first announced. But now the time has come. Pokemon Go is live. It is available for just every time. Just it's available for iPhone as well as Android. And it came out, I think, on Tuesday. And honestly, a lot of the people I work with were already playing it before I realized it was out.
yeah.
But what this game is, if you've ever played Pokemon before or been alive for the last like 20 years, you know. Well, I don't know.
Longer than that.
Is it 30 years? And it's 25. They just had an anniversary.
Yeah. So I remember it came out before my brother was born, and he's only 23.
Okay, maybe it was 25 years. Now I want to look it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Because I had Pokemon Gold, and I got really far into that game, and then Brett, I love him, he deleted my save. I was like, and now he's an air traffic controller, so he's probably gonna delete some flight paths.
Pocket Monsters Red and Green came out in 1996.
Uh, well,
According to Wikipedia.
okay. Well,
So
no. You know,
that would put us at 20 years.
well, you know what? Maybe I am wrong. I am wrong. And
And you're
here's
man enough to admit it. And
and
that's what I like about you, Brandon.
uh, math. So I go this is a quick aside. This shows how bad at math I am. Right. I go to the little coffee shop at my work, and all I want is a bagel, and the bagel is like 2.14. So I give her a five.
$100.
I give her a $5 bill, and I give her 4 cents, and I say, uh, and I'm like in my head I'm like I'll give her 4 cents. It'll be even. It'll be an even amount of change, right? She's like, so I tell her, so yeah, I'll just take the dime, right? That way I'll just take the dime back. And she's like, and she looks at me weird, and she's like, huh, what? What? Oh, okay. And so then she gives me a
And then
dime.
she
Two.
pulls out like an abacus and she's like,
She gives me $3.10 back. Or no, wait, well, whatever. See, okay, I don't get that.
this is proving
She didn't
how
give me
good you are.
the
Yeah.
thing is she didn't give me 90 cents back like she should have. She gave me a dime. And I was with Patrick, and he was like, did you mean to do that? I was like, yeah, of course, yeah. I just to make it even change. He's like, no, she gave you a dime instead of 90 cents. Like, oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's tip money.
Yeah, that's for her.
Uh,
That's for doing a good job.
help put her through college.
Yeah. Help her. Maybe she can buy some items in Pokemon Go.
Yes. Anyways, so but
So
Brett did
Brett.
erase my Pokemon Gold.
And that's why I have a hard time lending my smartphone to my kids right now, because I'm afraid they're going to use all my Pokeballs trying to catch Pokemon, and that would frustrate me.
It would.
So the basic premise of Pokemon Go is it's almost like an alternate reality game. It uses the GPS in your device to track your location, and then they have placed Pokemon throughout the real world, if you will. So by actually changing where you are, you can discover Pokemon and then catch them using your phone. Anytime you come up against a Pokemon, you click on it, and it brings up like a little AR window where you can point your phone at the Pokemon, and then you swipe your finger to throw a Pokeball at the Pokemon and catch it.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys have played this, but there is a Facebook Messenger game for basketball,
Yes, there is.
and the way you catch Pokemon at its most basic is like this basketball game where you swipe to throw your Pokeballs at it. It's like
And if I remember correctly, Brandon, when we played this against each other, you would dominate at that game.
yes, yeah.
So why aren't you a Pokemon master yet?
I still have a high score between us and also my two brothers.
Two brothers.
Brothers.
Rick and Morty on Cartoon Network.
I think that's a weird. I guess we can get in. Well, let's go ahead and keep going.
Okay, so let's just for the synopsis of the game,
Yeah.
along with the actual Pokemon that you can find out and around, there are also Pokestops. These are set locations on a map where you can go to them. They're usually associated with some sort of physical landmark. I know that some of the playgrounds around my neighborhood and some other actually on the Air Force Base, there's a bunch of like historical landmarks
Yeah.
that are Pokestops where you go to them and you spin a little thing on your phone and it spits out items. You can get extra Pokeballs and
Yeah.
potions and things like that. And then there are gyms, which if you've played Pokemon, you know that gyms are usually where a powerful Pokemon trainer, they kind of hold the gym and you can go there and battle them to take over the gym and things like that. So you can't touch gyms to level 5. We'll keep those till toward the end of the conversation, but
Can't touch gyms.
can't touch them. But I downloaded this game about 4 days ago, and I'll be honest, my neighborhood is not the hot spot for Pokemon. There are a couple of Pokestops that I've been hitting up when I take my dog for walks, but otherwise I've had to go elsewhere to catch them all, if you will. But I've found that gas stations Target. Whenever I go to Target with my wife now, it's awesome because that place is crawling with pocket monsters.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've found myself pulling out my phone quite a bit to just check the area and see if there's anything cool worth catching. When did you download the game? Like
Uh,
5 minutes ago?
no, 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 no. I had to catch my first Pokemon, so I downloaded it last night actually. Uh,
Okay.
um, I all day long yesterday I was like, okay, let me. We're gonna talk about it tomorrow. I should at least download it and look at it for a couple minutes. Um, and but I was doing a bunch of stuff. Went to a book sale. Went and saw the Secret Life of Pets, which we'll be talking about
We
here
will get to you momentarily.
in a bit. And then we went. And then after we finished the movie, we're like, okay, I'm gonna go home. Gonna download Pokemon Go, just see what it's about. And then Chelsea's like, hey, let's. It's such a nice day out. Let's drive around. Let's go someplace and get out and walk around. And I've lately I've been really busy, and so I wanted to make sure that we did whatever she wanted to do. And so we drove like to the North Shore of Hawaii, and then walked around. And then we got home at like 7:50, and then like okay, they're in bed. Let me download Pokemon Go. So I did. But earlier while I was waiting in the 35-minute concession stand at our local movie theater, I was looking up about Pokemon Go, and so it was like, okay, you want to catch one of these three primary ones with Charmander, Bulbasaur, and Squirtle. And they're like, but you can also catch Pikachu if you try hard enough. And
Yeah.
so I was
As
like,
as your starter Pokemon,
yeah,
which
dare to be different.
yeah,
That's I was like, I probably won't ever play this game actually, but if I'm going to catch any Pokemon, it's going to be Pikachu. So I walked around my neighborhood like at night, probably like at like 9 o'clock at night,
like a
just
creeper.
just so creepy, just running away from Squirtle, Charmander, and Bulbasaur, and you have to run away from them like 4 times
Right.
before Pikachu will show up, and then I caught Pikachu. Pikachu was on the corner of our house, like on my street, but like in the back corner, usually where we played Can Jam.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
That's where Pikachu was, and he was really easy to catch. Nice fella, sweet as could be, but he's sitting in a Pokeball right now.
That's awesome. So
Untouched.
you're the Ash in the group, starting off with Pokemon or with Pikachu here.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just immediately just took. I think I took like Charmander. I was like, whatever, just whatever fire type. Let's go. Which
Charmander.
in this particular game, your starter Pokemon are almost worthless and mean very little. So it's just kind of giving you an indicator of like, all right, you have to throw these little Pokeballs at the image of the Pokemon to catch it. That's how you do it. It's funny that you tell me that story about how you went all over town, to a movie theater, to a mall, to the North Shore. You went all over the place
Yeah.
and continually put off downloading this game, because the ironic thing is, if you had downloaded the game prior to going to all those places, you probably could have caught a grip of Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
of different types, of different, like the fact that you were like running errands and going all over the place. If you'd had the game already, you'd probably be significant level and have a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm sure of it, and every place I went, well, not every place, but for the most part, I went to the comic shop.
Oh yeah.
To pick up all my comics that I've been pushing off for the last 2 weeks, and they're there, like there's people they're playing the tabletop stuff, and then the girl at the counter was like, "Oh, Pokemon Go, what level are you guys?" Blah blah, and they're responding back to her, and she's like, "Do you play? Did you download Pokemon Go?" Like, no, I don't like walking that much.
I'm late.
And she's like, "Yeah, me too, but I'm level 15, so I mean, it's probably because you have a life." Or,
Level 15.
I don't know.
All right.
I don't know if that's
Good.
what she said, but it probably is what she said.
Yeah.
And
It's very possible for people that can play it a lot.
Yeah. And at the movie theater, I was in that concession line. God, that place is so awful. But this man and woman behind me, they're like, as I was looking at Pokemon Go stuff. Maybe they were reading over my shoulder. I don't know. But she's like, "Hey, have you heard about this mobile Pokemon game?" They're not Southern out here, but I'm just
No,
gonna,
no.
for sake of argument, have you
That
heard
those
about this mobile Pokemon game? And,
darn tootin'.
and he's like, "Well, now I don't never know nothing about no Pokemon game." uh,
It's well. Let's talk about the early adoption of this game because it is popping up all over the place. I am seeing it in very random locations. My entire office, I think, already is playing it.
yeah, bunch of nerds.
Bunch of nerds, bunch of nerds. But it's interesting because there's those Pokestops that I referred to earlier, right? With these set locations, and then also the gyms, which are set locations.
Yeah,
But it's kind of got me looking at other people as I go around town. When there's a gas station near my house that has a gym at it, and I was driving past it, but I saw a guy who was walking up towards the gas station, not with a car. He's just walking there. But as he got close to it, he pulled out his phone and started looking at it. And my immediate assumption is, oh, this guy's going to hit the gym. He's determined. Another thing that happened, and I don't advise this, but I was driving past a park that is close to my house that happens to be a Pokestop,
yeah, yeah,
and I saw a guy that was walking his dog toward the same park.
yeah.
My phone was out like on the center console, and so I just hit the button. And as I got close, I close enough to the Pokestop, I spun the thing so that it grabbed the items. Right before the dude who was walking his dog could get to it and like take the items. The thing that sucks is there's a 5 minute cooldown on every Pokestop.
Yeah.
So once someone takes the items, you have to wait for it to cool down. So I sort of ruined that guy's dog walking experience because I did a drive-by poke snatch, if you will. But he has time to walk, I guess.
Yeah.
Whatever.
There's time now.
There's time now. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of people that are getting out. I've seen all over Facebook people taking family walks just to go search for Pokemon. Jimmy J from Amazing Comic Con has been playing with his family. I've seen some of his posts. And I think that's a good thing. It can be a bad thing if you stumble across something less savory out in the real world, which we've seen in the news a little bit lately.
Yeah. There's two things I want to bring up. One, yeah. So in our career field, we're all computer guys. So it is good for us to get computer guys out and about to actually walk. That's good. And then the second thing is I sent you the news story from yesterday about a woman who was looking for Pokemon and she found a dead body.
Yeah, I thought this story was really interesting. She was going down towards a lake because the game actually will change the type of Pokemon based on like the area around you. So she was going to a lake, a real lake, because she wanted to find some water type Pokemon down there. And as she got down to the lake, she found this large mass floating, like kind of like it's floating on the sand there or whatever.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be a dead body.
Exactly. Well, the weirdest part of the story is she just started throwing Pokeballs at it.
She's, I gotta catch it.
I gotta take this back to the police.
Is that a Snorlax? What is that?
and she just wasted so many Pokeballs. But hey, that's life.
That's life. There's also a story going around. I think this may be a satire site, but some huge wreck on a freeway because someone was trying to catch a Pokemon on the interstate or something. Yeah, definitely don't play while driving. I would say that's not safe. Just don't use your cell phone while driving, unless it's to listen to this podcast,
Right.
and in that case, we'll give you a pass.
Yeah. There's an article going out, and admittedly, I haven't read it, so I don't know what exactly it says, but it's talking about it's an African American, and he is saying like that it could be a dangerous kind of game, right? And I say this because as I was last night, meandering through my neighborhood, through backyards, and just trying to get away from the core three Pokemon, I was like, if somebody's like looking out of their backyard and sees me walking back and forth, right?
Yeah,
That's
you look suspicious.
I look suspicious, yeah. And that's what I was thinking, like as I was walking through there, and not only that, there, especially when you're near like an Air Force base, and there's all these like places where you're not supposed to go, right, or cross.
Sure.
You're like, I can't. I'm not supposed to go over there. I'm not supposed to do that.
It doesn't matter if Mewtwo is on the flight line. I can't go out there and get him.
Uh, excuse me, sir. Mew 2 is on the F-22. I need to get in there. I need to get in there. They're like,
This is a legitimate reason I have a need to know.
and then he looks at your phone. He's like,
All right, go ahead.
Checks out, sir.
Got to catch them all, you know. Yeah, I find it interesting. There are actually already in the first week that the game's been out, there have been businesses that have posted signs when there's a Pokestop or a gym located nearby that it's like, Pokemon are for paying customers only, or they've actually police have posted warnings saying people can't loiter in certain areas where there may be an in-game location of note. So it's the game is already kind of having impact in the real world with people chasing down these Pokemon and stuff like that.
I want to throw out that Pokemon Go is much like a game that was already out, and that I took a look at the last year's Comic-Con. It's a game called Ingress, and you might have heard of it just in the reading about Pokemon Go. But it's very, very, very similar in that, like the gyms, they're like these places that people hold on to, and you have to challenge them to take away points and eventually take over with your team. And so Ingress is very much like that. And when I went to the con and talked to the folks there, they made a really big social thing about it too, where they have like social meetups for their teams, where they're like, okay, cool, all our team next Friday, the blue team is going to get together and we're going to go to this stop over here to take it over. And I thought that was really cool from a purely social aspect, that they have meetups essentially for this. And I think that's going to happen. It has to happen with Pokemon Go.
Yeah, right now Pokemon Go doesn't have any like chat or communication system built into the game.
Yeah.
But there are already third-party apps that are just designed for chat. There are a ton of Facebook groups out there for different areas and for specific teams. Yeah. So, and we'll talk about teams for just a second. Once you hit level 5, you select a team, red, blue, or yellow, and they all have different names. Team Mystic, Team, I don't know all the names. Team Valor or something, I think.
Yeah, Valor.
But yeah, so once you select a team, now when you go to a gym, you can actually fight in the gym for your team. And if your team holds that gym, then you can like leave a Pokemon there to defend it, and it you can get points and XP and things like that for doing that. So there is a real possibility that you can have like a Facebook group for your team in your area that's like, hey, we're going downtown, we're going to go to this gym and we're going to battle for an hour and try to take over the gym, or we're going to, have meetups and try and take over all this stuff. And in the original advertisements, like the trailer for this game, part of the stuff they advertised was there being a big battle. I think in the preview it was like Times Square, and it was like a Mewtwo or something flying around Times Square, and it was a group of people all battling together to try and catch that Pokemon. Yeah. So there are a lot of possibilities for real social interaction that takes place around this game, which could be a good or could be a bad thing depending on fire codes and things like that.
Yeah, and I'm not that type of person to where I'd be like,
sure,
like even with
jump on the boards and go drive your car downtown to go battle a virtual Pokemon.
Even with Ingress, I was like, this sounds really cool, but and the people are like super friendly, right? And they're like, "Oh yeah, hop on, yeah, come on down." And they're like talking to me, like, "Okay, we'll help you out, and we'll guide you and kind of mentor you on our team. Pick blue."
Yeah.
And
Nudge, nudge.
and I'm like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." And I got a couple emails, and then I never went, right? Because there's a
Because
bunch
you don't want to leave.
because a bunch of people I don't know, and I am codependent in that way. And
I wasn't there to go with you, and so you had to stay.
yeah, yeah, which will be interesting when I have all these cons coming up and you're not around. So,
Looking forward to it.
uh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, I overall, I think Pokemon Go has a lot of potential. I'm hoping that people don't play it for the first week and think, okay, I caught some guys and whatever, and they throw it out. I'm very interested to see if this app has legs, if you will, if it can stand up for a while and people will find ways to stay engaged with the game. If it'll be enough for people just to try and take over each other's gyms, or if they'll add new things to the game to kind of continue to cultivate that interest. But
yeah,
yeah, I'm having fun with it so far. It makes going around Target and the grocery store a little bit more interesting when I can find, you know, little Pokemon on the shelves and things like that. So yeah, I'm having fun with it. Hopefully, you get a chance to walk around a little bit this week and try it out. Well,
um,
you should do it. Just it's on your phone. Just occasionally pull it out and see.
dude. Honestly, I grabbed a screenshot of my Pikachu, and I had this very very quick thought of like, I could delete this right now and it'll be fine.
Gotta get it. You
uh,
gotta at least let me know what kind of wild Pokemon are hanging out in my old neighborhood to see if it's the same kind of stuff. You just
uh,
gotta be that solid. That's all I ask.
all right, I'll do that for you.
Yeah. All right.
But
Well,
there's
when you're
there are way too many people already playing it for me to want to be on that bandwagon.
I understand. I
Uh,
understand. While you're out and while you're out away from your house hunting down the Pokemon,
yeah,
uh, your dog is going to be left all alone. Gizmo will be in the house, and who knows what Gizmo could be doing?
he,
What secret life your pet might
he he's
be involved in?
he's probably playing Pokemon Go.
It's very possible. The Secret Life of Pokemon, which I think I'm going to name this episode.
Yeah,
But yeah, so we both
we
saw
yeah
a movie that came out this weekend, The
yep
Secret Life of Pets.
yep
It was a Universal Illumination animation mashup. The people that brought us Despicable Me and Minions and all that stuff. Um, yeah, and this was pretty straightforward. A movie about pets and what they do when their owners are away.
yeah. That is the basic rundown of the movie.
Total synopsis.
And so the movie really focuses on this one dog. I forget the dog's name.
Max, I
Matt.
think, is the main character, and then his. Oh shoot, I don't remember the big hairy dog's name.
You remember the small dog's name? I remember the big dog's name, Duke.
Duke. That's right.
So Max has an owner, and one day she comes home with Duke, this big hairy brown dog, and Duke is taking over. And of course they go for a walk the next day, and Duke and Max they're fighting, and
They have a bit of a scuffle.
they get into a hairy situation.
Heyo.
It starts an adventure that spans an entire one day.
Yeah, all of one day.
All of one day. But it's a secret life of pets.
Yeah, the secret day of pets.
So we're not going to get too far into the synopsis, but Travis, what'd you think of the movie overall?
Overall, I thought it was all right. I thought it was funny at times. I took my kids. Obviously, they really enjoyed it, and it was okay. I had an issue, I think, with the overall premise because I went into it hopeful for something different. And what I mean by that is the idea of, okay, the owners go away, and we always assume the pets just stay at home, but they get into trouble and they get lost and they have to find a way back home before the owner gets home.
Yeah.
I feel like that sort of story has been done too many times before. The whole plot of Toy Story 2,
Yeah.
It felt like that to me,
Ho-
where
ho-
Woody is gone, but Andy is at summer camp, so he's not going to notice that his toys are gone. So
yeah,
that gives the toys the freedom to go out into the real world, have their adventures, and then everything's tied up nice and perfect by the end of the movie when Andy gets back.
it's
I
like
felt like that's exactly what happened in this movie.
it's like Homeward Bound: The Incredible Journey.
Yeah, which has dogs and cats in it. Like
Yes.
I thought about Homeward Bound while watching this movie.
Yeah. Uh, I didn't want to see the movie. I didn't really care about the previews, and like it didn't look interesting to me. And every time I saw the poodle or changing the classical music to System of a Down, I was
Yeah,
like, oh god, okay. Like,
there we
like,
go.
I like System of a Down, right? But I don't know. There's just something about that that's like, okay. It just it was a similar issue I had with Finding Dory, right? Is
Mm.
when you stretch something a premise too thin, and you're like, okay, I can't. The believability of this is, I know it's a cartoon, damn it, I do.
Yeah. But your suspension of disbelief can only go so far
Yeah,
before you're just like, all right,
like
like,
like
come on.
like I was cool with the pets doing their thing, and like like even the bounce thing, I'm okay with that, right? Um, but when the antagonist animals, the masterless or ownerless animals came into the picture, and which is a tattooed pig, an iguana, and a white bunny rabbit.
Yes. Formerly a magic rabbit.
Yes, and they tear up. They Max and Duke, they get caught by the pound, right? The dog catchers, and these guys come out of the sewer, and they beat the crap out of these two dog catchers, and then they steal the dog catcher van, and then they're driving the van through the town, and
Yeah.
and there's a couple times the
Totally
animals
realistic.
drive a van, right?
It's
And
actually like a common premise in the film. I think no less than 4 vehicles were driven
yeah,
by animals throughout the course of the film.
yeah, that's so it's weird to me. But yeah, there's little parts of that, and then they go into the sewers, and then there's like just a grip of ownerless animals, of course, like a alligator and
Who
things
live in
like.
the only place that is undetectable in New York City, the sewers. Like I don't know why that's like the place that people go, and like no one checks the sewers anymore.
Yeah,
Like maybe we should have, like a department in local government that's in charge of checking the sewers for
yeah,
for ne'er do wells, because
for giant
that's where everybody
pythons.
goes.
Yeah,
I don't. It's ragtag groups of animals,
that's right.
Ninja Turtles, like anything. They're gonna hide down in the sewers. That's just where they're gonna go.
Absolutely. Uh, so that aside, I did enjoy the movie. I my favorite character is the Hawk, actually.
Yeah, right.
Because one of Max's dog friends who has a crush on Max, right?
I think it's Gigi. I think.
Gigi, yeah.
Yeah.
She finds out that Max and Duke are missing, so she is now trying to find them, and she goes up onto the roof to like look around the city, and there's a hawk cage, and the hawk is like, come on in here,
Yeah.
because she
Just step over that pile of bones there. Don't worry about those.
and he's like, now take off my little mask so I could see, and he attacks her right away, tries to eat her, and anyway, so she's like, don't eat me, help me find my friend, and I'll be your best friend. He's like, okay, but the rest of the movie,
And then they play a Queen song.
yeah, best friend, or and it's like, and he's fantasizing with her flying on his back while he's like attacking.
Hunting down a squirrel.
But the rest of the movie, like he keeps seeing small rodent like pets, and he's like grabbing them and like trying to
I
eat them.
tried to eat them, and he's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad. I'll be good. I'm sorry."
He's my favorite.
Yeah, I gotta say a couple of things I did really like about the movie. Some of the jokes, especially some of those jokes that are written in such a way to not be offensive to a child,
Yeah,
but definitely have a different meaning to an adult. There are a few of those in this movie that I really enjoyed. Some of the voice actors just brought a lot of character and some interesting different angles to some of the animals, which I really enjoyed. Some of the animals that are like cute and fluffy, but kind of had like a harder edge to them, and it kind of was this off balance thing. I didn't mind that. And then I did really like the soundtrack of this movie. I thought that they picked some songs that really were interesting choices, but were fun and unique. A lot of it being popular music, but some of it dated and not something you expect to hear
Yeah.
right away in a movie like this. But
You ain't
yeah,
never had a friend, never had a friend. You ain't never had a friend,
no,
never
that
had a
wasn't
friend.
that wasn't in the
That
movie.
that wasn't. Oh.
No. Did you go see Aladdin accidentally? Is that what?
Oh, that's why it didn't make sense.
Yeah. I would say, and normally, I get all wound up about spoilers, and we've talked about the plot pretty heavily, but I don't feel like the plot is the reason to go see this movie. The reason to go see this movie is that you have kids, but
Yeah.
otherwise, yeah, there are some funny moments, but you're not going to be surprised by the story at any point in time.
No.
And I will agree with you. The suspension of disbelief is almost too hard to overcome. There's a point where like Max, the main character, is like holding on and like climbing things,
Yeah.
and I'm like, he doesn't have like prehensile thumbs. Like
I had
he doesn't have the ability to grip.
I had that
So
exact same thought because I was like, okay, I'm imagining Gizmo in this situation, and like, yeah, right, like that's not how dogs do things. And so yeah, I had a little. I noticed that too. Yeah, I would have liked it if it was a Secret Life of Pets, but they kept it grounded to a certain extent.
yeah, if I think if they could have done, and maybe this would have required that it being more geared towards adults, but if it had been just like within an apartment building, and you had maybe like little vignettes where you
Yeah,
had
yeah,
funny situations that happen between the dog and the cat that come over, or things like that. I think you could have written a movie like that would have been a little bit more intelligently funny, but that may not have worked with a younger audience. So they had to make the bigger, more epic tale that they ended up with.
yeah.
Um,
Almost like I liked what they did with like A Bug's Life, right? Where it's like this grand scale, this big adventure, but then at the very end of the movie it pans out and it's like, oh, it all took place in like this little park.
yeah, it's like
Like
all just like
no,
right around this tree or something. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like if they could have shown it from the animal's perspective a little bit more so, and saw how larger than life everything is, and you're like that apartment complex is so huge, they could have made it a grand scale, but actually have it
But
be
actually never
smaller.
left that building or something like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our 2 cents
Like
about it.
Gremlins too.
Yeah, exactly.
Like in
Like,
Gremlins too.
don't feed the pets after midnight.
Which, by the
That
way, I went to a book sale yesterday
without Pokemon Go,
without Pokemon Go, and guess what I picked up?
a Twilight Zone book.
No, we're just talking about Gremlins.
Oh, a
I picked up
Gremlins 2 book.
I picked up the novelization of Gremlins and Gremlins 2. They just happened to be. I was like, score.
Got it. Nailed it. Add
Screw
it to
you,
the collection.
screw you, Pokemon Go. I got Gremlins.
Overall, scale of 1 to 10, what do you give Secret Life of Pets?
My first thought is 6.5.
Yeah, I was gonna say like a 6. It didn't wow me in any way,
Wow.
but I still enjoyed the movie. I felt like it had moments where I was legitimately laughing, and I can't ask for much more than that. I mean, the animation looked good. I
Can't.
mean, there was nothing, there were no problems with that. I was just hoping for a
Something
little
else.
something different in the general plotline. Okay, well that's our thoughts on the movie. If you saw the movie, not you, Brandon, but the people actually listening or watching, we'd love to hear what you guys thought about it and hear your thoughts. You can hit us up on apatheticenthusiasm.com. You can, and all of our social media stuff, which we'll get to in a moment. If you're playing Pokemon Go, let us know. I want to know what team you're on if you made it to level 5. I want to know if you've gotten into any sorts of accidents or had any kind of strange encounters because of playing Pokemon Go. Yeah, hit us up on Twitter at Apathusiast, on Facebook.com/Apathetic Enthusiasm Show, Instagram. Send us pictures. Can't really send pictures on Instagram, but I'll post some pictures to apathetic_enthusiasm
Yes,
of Pokemon that I've found in different places.
that's good.
Um, and yeah, and then of course you can always see everything, all of our social stuff and more at apatheticenthusiasm.com. It's good. It's good to be podcasting, Brandon.
Yeah.
I feel like we're getting into a rhythm. Hopefully my furniture shows up sometime soon and I can actually sit at a desk instead of sitting on the floor in
Yeah.
my soon to be recording studio. But yeah, I'm
welcome
excited.
back into the fold.
It's going to be great. If you enjoy this episode or any of our episodes, if you're a long-time listener or maybe this is your first time listening, a great thing you can do to help the show is to head over to iTunes and rate the show. 5 stars would be ideal, but I'll leave that up to you. The other thing you can do is just tell a friend about the podcast. That is a great way to get the word out. So if you're enjoying it, share it with someone that you know who may like it as well.
Yeah.
Brandon.
Yes.
What do you got? An Energizer battery, not a sponsor.
Yeah, that's great. You did it all, Travis.
And I don't have to read it off of the banner behind you.
Man, yeah, we got the congratulations for the new house, being over there on your own. You have an Omaha kind of Comic-Con coming up that you're gonna.
Yeah, it's happening right now, and I'm missing it. I selected this podcast.
Thanks.
But I think in August I may try to skedaddle down to Kansas City to check out the Kansas City Comic-Con. I should probably tell my wife about that. But if you are in Kansas City area or know anybody that is, let us know and maybe I can say hi. So yeah.
But until then, carry on, wayward son.
Does that mean am I the wayward son?
I don't know. I was just trying to throw a Kansas reference in there.
That's good enough. All right. Next week, I don't think we have any idea what we're talking about.
No
so
idea.
We'll figure it out. But until then, I'm Travis.
And I'm Brandon.
And we will talk to you next time.
We'll see ya. Toodles.
Bye.
Bye.